We've made it to 10, and boy oh boy was it a big week at footy because the Sainers have got the first finals win in more than 10 years. Oh, it was an absolute sight to behold. If you haven't seen my live reaction to that, it'll be in the link in the description. I think I even shed a tear at one stage. It was just an emotional evening. But that being said, can't forget to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Rexona, Interchange Cordon, and Kirk's. And without further ado, it's a big week of footy, and we should get straight into it with the round review.
Yeah, I'll start us off here. We'll start off with the Port Adelaide versus Geelong game.
Great game.
Yeah, well, there wasn't a bad game this whole round.
No.
They were pretty close. This was probably the least close out of them all.
15 points.
16, yeah.
Was it 16 in the end?
16 points in the end.
Not too bad. Hawkins obviously could not kick straight, probably butchered their chances. Geelong in general, Port just got on little runs there and put them away pretty quickly. And in that last quarter and even a bit of the third, they had their chances to come back, but failed to do so. And it was kind of a anticlimactic kind of ending with nothing really happening.
Yeah,
That tended to be the trend of this finals. Teams that took their chances in front of the goals came out winners. So
yeah, that was the story of the game.
This was supposed to help the vocals.
Yeah. Are you done yet?
Wait.
Yeah, so that was the story of the tale. Geelong, Tom Hawkins really cost them the win there. They common medalists should be kicking more than 5 behinds. He should not have been kicking 5 behinds in a final.
They were pretty easy kicks as well.
Cost them the match really, and Port took their chances and Geelong didn't.
Port looking very good. So
Chance,
I'd like to see them. They're not going to get to play till the Gabba unless they make the grand final. So that's the big talking point for me. The question, because we all know they can play great at Adelaide Oval, but can they bring it at the Gabba?
And Geelong, is their season a little bit over?
No. It's not over. I wouldn't have them. For me, the top 3 teams that are going to win the grand final: Brisbane, Tigers, Port.
Well, I mean, if Port have to play St Kilda in the prelim, I don't see them getting past them. Moving right along to the Friday night game, Brisbane taking on Richmond. Some of this panel called the Brisbane win, and we were absolutely right. Brisbane broke the 16-odd year hoodoo against Richmond at the Gabba, and in absolute tremendous fashion in front of their home crowd. The Gabba was just buzzing that night because Brisbane sure came to play.
Yeah, I actually questioned the choice of the Gabba as the grand final location, but
you're a bit late to call that now.
Yeah, well, as soon as it was called, but after that, the big crowd, I'm more happy with it.
Yeah, they sure did get up and about, the Brisbane fans, and Brisbane were just ahead most of that game. And Richmond, they did manage to fight back Richmond's late surge at the end with a absolute incredible goal from Shea Bolton.
Almost goal.
It was overturned. I reckon if that goal had gone ahead, Richmond would have possibly had enough momentum.
Yeah, they had quite a bit of the ball, but without Tom Lynch, they struggled with getting inside 50.
Exactly right.
It really puts Brisbane as a high chance, because the big question for Brisbane is, could they kick more goals than behinds and take their chances?
And they did.
They did indeed.
There were some absolute scenes for goals.
Kicking 10 goals, 9.
That Cam Rayner goal was elite.
They took their chances and it sure did pay off. Now we move to Saturday afternoon. I'm sure the boys have probably heard enough from me, but it was the Saints and the Doggies, and I'll try and take my bias cap off just a little bit for this game, but it was going to be an average game until the 4th quarter, because the Doggies just gave it one last hurrah in the last quarter, giving me and all the Saints fans around the globe a one almighty scare. Saints were up by 4 goals at 3rd quarter time, and they were the better team for the first 3 quarters. But until the
to be fair,
till the 3rd quarter.
To be fair, the Doggies did play well all game. Their midfield really dominated. They had more inside 50s. They had more of the ball. It's just their lackluster defence.
Too small.
Zane Cordon going out early.
Didn't help them. But their forward line was shocking.
Yeah, their forward line was too small again.
Yeah, Josh Bruce
got picked off.
Josh Bruce, the absolute spud.
As Norton got nullified early on, it was just they were in trouble early on there.
Yeah, no, Saints were very, very lucky to hold the doggies off in the end. It was a brave performance from their back line.
It's definitely impressive by the Saints. They're seeming to find the weaknesses within teams and really expose them. So
yeah, well, they were great on the counter attack. Lots of goals just on the run.
Yeah, just
getting him out the back.
Just the doggies' usual weapons, Mitchie Wallace and Norton, had no impact. So it was definitely impressive by Brett Ratton and the boys.
Yeah, and the Saints forward lines managed to work together and get the job done. So we'll be meeting the Tigers in a very, very
massive test.
I reckon
very
that's going to
big
ripper.
semi-final. And the final game of the round was probably the biggest shock.
Yeah.
Well, to me it was. These two blokes managed
We
to
called
suck
it.
out.
We called it.
I thought it would be a tip in my pocket. I was like, geez, Collingwood aren't going to win. And they defied all the odds and got their job done in the end against the Eagles by 1 point.
Never ever.
Can I just put it out there? I'll put in the greatest tipping round of all time. I also said the one game I got wrong, the St Kilda Bulldogs one, I said it would be within a goal or two, and I said if Max can kick two or more, the Saints would win. So what can I say?
It was a hard round to tip, but
Gotta hand it to you there.
never ever have I supported Collingwood so heavily.
Yeah, I know, jeez.
The tipping competition, it's doing things.
We don't like West Coast.
Yeah, I don't like West Coast. I'm a neutral, so.
Sorry, Jesse from True Footy. We hate you.
Well, yeah, but geez, it was a bloody good effort from the Pies, especially with Mason Cox in the first quarter. 3 goals unanswered, and that was the story of the day because that
2 good quarters of his career.
That fast start, yeah. They've got his money's worth out of the finals because he hasn't done much else in his career. But no, West Coast actually were in the lead, probably more in the fourth quarter than Collingwood were in the end.
Oh.
It would have evened out pretty similar. But Collingwood and Brody Mychek got the job done in the end over in the West.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of been underrating their midfield this whole season. Taylor Adams was elite, probably their best on
Game-saving smother in the last seconds.
Collingwood got a few back as well. Like it was handy having Did they have Chorley back in? I think they did.
Yeah, they had
Chorley, Adams, Pendle.
Pendlebury.
They were getting back to their best team, and obviously I still think the Eagles midfield probably won. But they held their own a bit better, so it's impressive.
And with the class of Pendlebury year in year out, you can see why Collingwood got the job done.
And it's gonna actually be a good game. Geelong versus Collingwood. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
obviously Geelong will be big favourites.
Definitely.
We'll get into a more in-depth preview later in the show.
Yeah, I think
so.
Going on.
That
concludes perfect time to move into the highlights.
Yeah, that concludes the round review. Hopefully, all we can hope for is another week just like the one we had. Alrighty, so we'll get straight into the round highlight. We missed it last week because there were no footy on, but well, there is footy on this week, and it was a good round of footy. So we have got plenty of highlights to get into you. So we'll get Deez to kick it off.
Going on with the West Coast Collingwood game. Brody Mychek's last quarter and a little bit of third was something special. It was absolutely clutch. I was talking to a few of my mates and they weren't getting around Brody Mychek. They were thinking he was an absolute passenger, and he proved them all wrong. That goal from the boundary, the left foot. I mean, I think he said it was lucky himself, but that was truly class. At the end of the day, went through the big sticks.
When the Collingwood forward line is up and about, they have a very good team because they're sorted in the defence and midfield category.
Yeah, they would like to chase a bit more of a consistent tour.
Yeah,
but
Max King.
Shut up, yeah, go.
He's definitely impressive. So hats off to you, Brody Mychek.
Yeah. Hats off the TV to you, Mychek.
Next game, next highlight for me, has to be Dersman getting knocked out.
Poor Ders.
Well,
stitch up.
We're just gonna put it in the courageous category.
It's very
obviously, Mike Blitzarves came down on him pretty hard with the elbow, and he was out cold for quite a while there. But that's all I really have to say. Good on him.
Ders wearing you the old headband and
shout out to Dersman.
Yeah,
inspiration.
Just put a bow and arrow on you, and
Dersman from Foster.
You'll be him. Yeah, no, it was a great. It was a great performance from Port all around. They were very hard-bodied that game.
Yeah.
And my highlight was it came from the Saints Doggies game because it just has to.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a highlight. Plunkett's highlight if it wasn't.
And the whole game was a highlight for me, but one in particular was in the last quarter when the Doggies were on their surge. I had to hand it to the Saints back six because they were on an absolute. They were the brick wall that stopped the Doggies from getting over the line. Blokes like Nick Caulfield taking 5 intercept marks in the last quarter. Blokes like Dougal Howard, he had a career best game. Hunter Clark's class on the back line.
Chuck Wilkie in there.
Chuck Wilkie, underrated. He goes under the
Your
radar.
best. You haven't even said your best defender.
The best defender.
Carlisle.
Oh yeah, Jack Carlisle. There's just so many to
See you
name.
next week, Carlisle.
So many to name, and you bloody left and to see your wife. Yeah, why would you even want to see your? You've already had 2 kids. Who cares about the third one? Yeah, and also got to give a shout out to Jared Roughhead. I know he's not playing anymore, but he's on the bench for the Saints, and he put Tim Membry back in the last quarter, and his marking ability arguably got us over the line in the end, taking a crucial mark from the Doggies' forward entries that could have won them the game. So yeah, Saints back 6. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Okay, so now I'm going to do some questions. Obviously on the Instagram, the iconic Instagram at the Interchange Corden.
Up there,
Get
if you
around
haven't seen it already, it'll be in there.
Behind the scenes content, setting out guests that will be on for the next week, and getting involved in the channel. So we've got a few questions this week. We'll start off with. We have to start off every week with Harry Sheen.
Good man.
Thanks, Dad. Keep it coming, mate.
He had 2 questions for us this week. We got, will Dangerfield ever play grand final?
Yes.
I hope he does. He's an elite player.
I feel like next year is one of the I don't feel like they're making the granny this year. Next year, I'm calling it Cats will be in a grand final.
Oh,
It's early.
I reckon it's do or die for the Cats this year because Dangerfield, they're all at their prime at the moment, and they'll only decrease in form.
I reckon they've got 1 more year left.
So,
1 more year left in it.
If I was a Cats fan, I'd be putting me bloody house on the Cats being in the premiership this year because I don't see the Cats being as good as they were for as long as they have been.
I think Cats back at Cardinia Park will be a force to reckon.
They will be good, yeah, back at Cardinia Park, but with Ablett retiring and so would Dangerfield, they'll be getting old. So I hope he gets in.
I think he gets there. I don't think he will get there in his prime. I reckon he'll be playing more like a Luke Hodge role, kind of for a team.
Yeah.
So you reckon he's going to get traded? Going to go to another club?
Go back to the Crom. You heard it here first.
He might get traded. He might be but I think he won't get there as a Geelong player in his prime. I reckon he'll be a bit later in his career. But that's my call.
Oh, well, we love a bit cool.
Fair share.
This was actually before. Oh no, I think it was after it came out. Where will Adam Sard play next year? Well, it's pretty obvious now.
He wants to go Carlton.
You'd say Carlton. Hopefully Essendon make a decent trade.
Unless Adrian Dodora has an absolute curveball, I wouldn't be against him.
If you got any Essendon blokes out there, part of the club, I want pick 7 and Harry Mackay.
You're not getting him.
Pick 7 and Harry Mackay for Adam Sard and one of our
maybe
late
it was
picks.
Chuck Paddy Grips in there too. Give him the whole kit and caboodle.
Anyway,
who's got the next session?
we got Samuel. I don't know how to say your last name, but Samuel.
D's fan.
Pretty sure he commented on the AFL stereotype, so I'll get around him for that.
Is the Zinger Box actually filling?
It is filling.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It is the perfect meal for anyone.
If you want a
Dinner,
snack,
lunch.
If you want a snack, you go the small. If you want a good feed, you go the large, and maybe just get
A Zinger stacker box.
Give us a stacker box if you're feeling lucky.
I have a problem with this question because he's asking this, which would make you think he's never had a Zinger box.
And that is just outrageous. Samuel,
get a grip.
Get a grip. You're lucky we don't have a full form trophy.
I think we have to talk about this right now. Zinger Box eating. Now, it's a massive topic. We're going a bit off the footy, but we've got to talk about this. He's brought it up. Obviously, the Zinger Box, the most important meal. What's your go-to strategy for consuming a Zinger Box?
Alright, now this is important. You open the Zinger Box, your eyes light up. You've got to try a wing first. There's 3 wings, so you can span them out between a meal. But you've got to get the wings, arguably the best bit. I mean, there's not really any best bit, they all tie together.
Yeah.
So I go 1 wing, burger, wing, chips, dip them in the potato and gravy, finish with a wing.
Far out.
I'm so with D's here, but few little changes there. I go
potato and gravy is controversial.
I go wings first to test how the chicken is, and then you go burger. Along with your burger, you have a Mountain Dew freeze at all time with you. Mountain Dew freeze every time for me. If you want a drink, you can go a drink. Maybe go a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi. But if you want the freeze, you go the Mountain Dew freeze.
Yeah.
And then you have I go the chips with the 2 other wings, and then the odd day I'll have the mashed potato and gravy, but half the time the mashed potato and gravy goes out the window.
Yeah.
The
thing that Harry needs to do now is potato and gravy. If you're not a fan, you can always get it swapped out for another chips.
Yeah, that's what I need.
And another life hack for you. This one is very important. The KFC chips are very controversial. People are saying, oh, they're too soggy, oh, they're not flavoursome enough. Well, I'm telling you right now, extra salt changes the game.
Ask for extra salt?
Yes.
Never heard of it.
The KFC's.
You heard it here first. Ask for extra salt at KFC.
Changes the game.
Well, we'll get into my eating strategy for the burger, and it's a bit more structured than these blokes. I actually chow down all 3 wings at once. Because it provides the most smell coming out of the box.
It's true.
You just see it and it's just like, you just have to. And while you're eating the wings, you have a couple of chips in between eating the wings. So your main target is the wing, but you get a couple of chips just to make sure that they're not soggy, just to give you a feel of what the main chip eatings will be like. And then once you chow down the wings, you get stuck into the burger. This is the creme de la creme of the Zinger Box itself, and then you'll be left, and then not to mention you'll be eating some chips as well with the burger. Just keep going back and forth, so you get about 10 chips done by the time you finish the chicken condiments, and then you'll be left with about 3/4 of the box. And if they're crispy chips, you are just enjoying every mouthful of chip.
Opinions on the mashed potato and gravy?
I'll get around the mashed potato and gravy.
I heavily
Do you have it with the chips?
Well, recently KFC haven't been giving me spoons.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's bloody annoying. And so KFC, put your heads in for that. So you gotta provide spoons, because otherwise you're just getting that same soggy chip every time, and it's not a bad technique. But it's not a efficient way.
And
of doing things.
usually the chips don't go all the way through the potato and gravy.
Yeah, but I do get around it, and then you get a Mountain Dew, whether it's a freeze or a normal drink. I do rate the 7-Up though. It's not a bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The Sprite of the KFC world.
Yeah, it's not
So
bad.
anyway,
so there's
if we did have a poor form tribunal, which we don't, I would be putting it out to all the people that say the Zinger Box and the Zinger Burger in particular is too spicy. Like,
you
get it.
pansy.
If you ever had to get it,
you pansy.
Anyway, we'll move on. That's your Zinger Box, your KFC talk.
It's a very passionate.
Any more questions?
We've also got another little KFC live popcorn chicken slab tasting ? From Jasper Dillon.
No.
No, because all we eat is Zinger Box. I might give the popcorn chicken slab a taste.
I'm curious.
No.
If I'm having a snack with the boys, maybe. If
Or
I'm not up to
a
a
snack,
Zinger.
like a breakfast maybe.
Yeah.
Any more
then
questions? That we
our
can
last
sneak
question
in?
for the day we're going to have is Finn Hannagraph.
Got a good
from
YouTube
Woodend.
channel, I think, going around, so check him out.
Will Collingwood win the premiership? No.
No.
Simple as that. So if you want to ask your questions, we'll be putting out stories on the Instagram. If you're not following it, what are you doing with your life?
Correct.
Yeah. So we'll move straight along to our tips.
So next up we have our tips for the
Short
next
tipping
round.
Yeah.
Obviously two big games: Collingwood, Geelong, and Richmond versus St Kilda. We'll start off with Richmond versus St Kilda. Now, talk us through. What are your opinions on the game?
Well,
We already know Plunkett's opinions. Come on.
my tip is St Kilda, so that has just been going to be laid down. But I've watched most Saints footy as I've ever watched, and we beat them. We beat Richmond in the first half. No, we beat Richmond earlier in the season. It was on our home deck at Marvel. We do play well against them at Marvel, so it's going to be a bit more of a challenge on the Gold Coast. But what St Kilda, when they've beaten their best sides, they have to play their run and carry, their quick, their pace, and just beat them on the legs. So hopefully Richmond are a quick and elite side, so it's going to be a massive challenge. And for St Kilda to win, they need to be quick, they need to be switched on, they need to be play with their usual pace, get a good start out of the gates. That has been very important.
Yeah.
And they've also got to shut down some of Richmond's elites, because I can see Tom Lynch and Jack Revolt running amok over
Will
us.
Tom Lynch be back?
Tom Lynch, I'm
Without
pretty
Jake
sure,
Carlisle?
without Jake Carlisle, it's gonna be tough for the for the Saints defense. But I'd back him in, and someone also needs to shut down Dusty too, because Dusty in finals, I've seen it firsthand. He can be bloody good.
My opinion on the game, I would have been a bit closer to believing St Kilda have a chance, but without Ryder and Carlisle, I really beg to differ. I'm going to be tipping the Richmond Tigers not pretty. I reckon it'll be pretty close.
I hope it's pretty close.
I'd say about 3 goals probably, 18 points.
I reckon it'll be a close game, and then Richmond will just do what Richmond do and kind of get
obviously,
away, kick away.
Lynch, especially if it's dry up on the Gold Coast. Lynch, Rewalt, without Carlisle, and even like when Dusty goes forward, they're gonna have young fella probably. I'd probably say they had Caulfield on him, something like that, or even
Who, Dusty?
Yeah, when he goes forward.
Wilkie maybe.
I've heard Wilkie's going to go to him. So
Wilkie's not a bad one.
Wilkie to Dusty, and then they'll have Howard to probably Lynch, and then I think Saints would be smart to bring in another tall defender to replace Carlisle. Josh Battle could do it, and there's also another bloke, Jonathan Marsh.
Yeah.
He doesn't play much, but he's a tall, big body, athletic bloke, and he could do the job on Revolt.
So that would be a lead for old Marsh.
Yeah, Marsh comes in a semi-final, and Saints will just be up and about.
I'm the same. Tigers, I tipped them last week, so I've got to tip them again. I think they didn't play shocking last week. They were just a little bit untidy entering the forward 50, so I think they should clear that. If they clear that up, they should be right. They need to get their those pressure forwards running forward, and I think Tigers should run away with it. To me, they're still top 2, probably premierships favourites. So I'm backing in the Tigers here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Saints. It's their first semi-final for 10 years. The fans, I think a lot of Victoria don't like Richmond, so they'll be behind the Saints this weekend.
Yeah, the Saints fans, the passion that's being flowing.
It is sure something to behold.
Yeah, something else.
And
they could come crashing down very hard.
Momentum could get them over the line, but it'll be a good game, and we'll have to wait and see.
So next game, obviously, Geelong versus Collingwood. Now, I've just had a bit of a thought process before coming on the show here, and I'm tipping Collingwood.
Alright.
He's told us behind the scenes he's going to go Geelong, we're going to do the same tips, and he comes out and tips Collingwood.
I'm tipping Collingwood. Now, my thought process through this,
this is good. This could get me back in the tipping.
Yeah, I'm just going for the upset. Collingwood actually have a really good team, and before this season, they were predicted to be back up at the grand final.
I tipped them to be minor premiers for the season. So disappointed.
I do believe in them. It's going to come down to their forward line. Let's be honest. Mychek has to kick at least 2. De Goey's going to have to play a great game. I think that although Geelong have a not very good midfield, I think Collingwood can get ahead of them in the midfield. And if Darcy Moore can lock down Tom Hawkins again, they're a genuine chance.
Can you see Mason Cox gloving them in a bit of a dewy gabba?
No.
I don't see Mason Cox playing a good game again, but you never know, and it'd be something to behold.
It would sure be something to behold. A Collingwood and what is it? It would be a Collingwood Brisbane prelim, and that would just be something to behold.
I've got to go Geelong. Collingwood, hats off to you, like I said before, but they did kick 8 goals straight from set shots, which is elite.
Yeah, it's a good.
But can you back them in to do that again? Like they still. And Geelong, I think they're hungry this year. I think they wanna progress far. So I'm not too put off by the loss to Port. So I think they'll still get the win here. And thanks Collingwood, you helped me with the tipping. But love to see you lose. Love to see you lose this week.
Nah, I'll also be tipping the Cats. I reckon they've been taught a big enough lesson against Port because their finals record is just simply not good enough for a level of a team of that level. But they really just they were taught a lesson last week. I reckon they'll come out with a story to tell. They need to tell the AFL world they're not pretenders. They know what they're doing here in the finals. They need to get their record straight, and I reckon Tom Hawkins will bounce back, have a big game. He's the Coleman medalist after all.
Just needs to kick straight.
And it was. I think after he missed the first couple, he was never going to go well. So Tom Hawkins needs to have a good start. The midfield, I back Geelong's midfield.
I think they still might have won against Port. If they just kick straight, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah, they would have, and because their midfield against Port did wonders. Dangerfield had a great game. But only time will tell, and hopefully for our tipping Kate's sake, we can get Geelong to get up, and Harry can not get the tip.
Yeah. So the last little segment we're going to do from now on till the end of the season, we're going to do a little bit of a awards for the season, and this week we're going to do the most improved for the season. Now we'll let Punter start off. Well, who's your most improved for the season?
Oh well, I'm sticking to my Saints roots, and I'm gonna have to go a tie
A tie.
I'm going to do two most
my
improved
God.
players from the Saints. And not some honourable mentions from other clubs, obviously, but Jordan Ridley's had a pretty good season.
Yeah, we'll get to him later.
Bailey Dale. What's it?
Bailey Dale, Bailey Williams.
Bailey Dale retired.
Bailey
Williams.
Bailey Dale was
Bailey
off
Williams.
the face of the earth.
Bailey Williams had a good season. Bailey Smith's had a good season. There's been plenty of good improvers, but my two big improvers, having watched the Saints every week, have got to be Jack Steele and Nick Caulfield down back. Jack Steele, he's had a bit of a role change for the Saints this year. He used to be a tagger. He wouldn't get much of the ball, but he would shut down players. This year, he's got a bit of a license to roam free and really rack up the balls, up his clearance game and his tackles and contested game. And he's earned his spot on the All-Australian side. He probably could have been the All-Australian starter, but he'll take the interchange on the All-Australian list. So that is one big improvement. And Nick Caulfield, he went at pick 8 a couple of drafts ago. He was pretty underrated. They didn't really talk about him much. He was in and out of the side. This year, he's cemented his spot on the side as
Nick
a
Caulfield,
halfback
good
flanker.
shout.
His intercept marking ability has been brilliant. He just puts his head over the ball, eyes on the ball the whole way, and gets the job done. He's a rock down back. So they're my two most improved.
Yeah, I'll say mine now. It's pretty obvious. Jordan Ridley from Essendon. Played 9 games before this season. As an Essendon supporter, you saw the potential from his few games in the AFL and obviously his VFL earlier on. And this season he's had a full 17 games, and he's just been elite. Intercept marking, intercept possessions, 1%ers, all that. He's been elite in those.
Yeah, elite in so many categories.
Just been getting his hands on the ball. I think he's averaging nearly 18 touches a game as a defender, and he's really locked down that spot as that third defender that has won teams premierships,
and a really
for
good
example.
kick.
Yeah, for example,
And-
like Dylan Grimes and stuff.
And I want to put it out to the listeners, or the viewers. Have any of you actually heard of Jordan Ridley before this season? Comment down below if you actually knew who he was.
I know I haven't.
Before this season. Like, if you don't go for Essendon, who is the bloke? He's
come out of absolutely nowhere. So your most improved Jordan Ridley.
Jordan
also.
Ridley. He's
He's
Shout out to Shy Bolton as well. He's had one of the best seasons. Especially that game.
Yeah, he's filled the absence of Trent Cotton.
That game, that Dreamtime game, he well and truly deserved that. Was the best on. That was a ridiculous game. His kicking is ridiculously good.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
And
training kicks.
And Bailey Dale. Bailey Williams. He played well again on the weekend for the finals, but he's definitely doing wonders in the back line for the Western Bulldogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be good if the Keys could pull something out.
Yeah.
It's the year of the most improved. There's been plenty of these are only a couple of players we've named. There are many players who have really upped the ante this season. And so that's the first of our Interchange Corden awards. We'll be getting them in for the rest of the season, one at a time. Comment any awards you want us to give.
Interesting ones. We've
got some interesting ones in the works, but would love to see what you think.
Anyway, so that's going to cap off the show, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't had a guest this week. We were a bit slack on the guest, to be fair, but it's a good
Bullful
week.
tribunal for us.
Yeah, it's a good week to get to just talk footy because it's really heating up in the business end of the season. Only 6 teams remain. Grand finals only a couple of weeks away.
We'll be getting guests on in the coming weeks. And it'll be exciting times. Yeah,
some big names ahead. I've got to hand out the Rexona cans because that's just what we do. Make sure they're not locked, boys. Don't forget your Great Australian Squeeze in your Woolworths stores for $6. Don't forget, we are nearly at 1.6 subscribers. I think we're 1 away, so we might be 1.6 by the end of the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video, make sure to comment what you thought, and make sure to comment the Instagram, follow the Instagram, it'll be linked up there and in the description
And watch
below.
the ads.
And watch the ads too, I'll put in a couple of ads for the culture, up the OWP budget. But with that being said, I think that concludes our show, episode 6, don't spray me, that's the show, go the Saints.